What we're going to do now is to show you the process of applying from a typical local authority website. In this case, as you can see, Manchester. What you'll need to do in all cases is use the search facility to type in the term subject access request, and that's 3 separate words: subject access request. See what comes back. You'll usually get a list of possible further pages to go through. Go into the one that looks as though it holds the most useful information. Most local authority websites these days will give you a lot of further information about your rights, about the next steps, about what kind of information they may hold. It's well worth reading that information before you move on to the next step of actually making an application. Not least because it will tell you how long you've got to wait for example, what you might need to provide by way of identity, proof of your own identity, all that sort of thing. The usual process is that you then have to fill in an electronic online form. Some local authorities will also offer you an email address to write to or a phone number to ring, which can be obviously helpful to people who are not that skilled at writing. Here you usually get an option as well to indicate whether you're applying for yourself or for somebody else. If it's for somebody else, then you will need their permission, so it'll be a slightly different and slightly longer process. What you'll then get usually is a form like this, an online form asking usual things: name, address, date of birth, that sort of thing. They may want to know little bits about where you were in care, when you were in care, in case that helps them access the file. They will also, and they may at this stage, ask for proof of identity, such as, for example, a photograph of your driving licence or something similar.
An important thing that you probably don't know is that every child in care has a file kept on them. And up until 1989, local authorities were actually allowed to destroy these care files a few years after you left care, although not every local authority did this. So it's still worth having a go and applying for your files because it might still be there. And we can help you with this as well.
Here we're looking at a charity website, using Barnardo's as an example. Same procedure as with local authorities, just use the term subject access request, see what you get back. As with local authorities, you get several responses. Always worth reading the bit about your data, your rights, any page with that sort of title, because it explains to you what you can expect, what you have a right to, what you need to provide, and in this case what the particular charity, Barnardo's, offers by way of support, contact information and so forth. Most charities and local authorities, as I mentioned earlier, are quite good at this. The form itself, as you'll see, it's a bit old school because it's a downloadable Word document. Some local authorities have the same option. There are pros and cons to this. What it does mean is you can print it off and fill it in your own time, but then you do have to, get a stamp, post it, all the usual old school snail mail stuff. It will ask you for pretty much everything that anybody will ask: age, date of birth, where you were in care, when you were in care, as much information as possible, really, to get you the file. Remember, as with the local authority files, you will need to provide proof of identity. They often ask you, as in this form, what sort of information you need. You can just say you need the whole file, but it might be that if you need something specific, that you can get hold of that, like something about a particular event or particular information